Good evening, ladies as well as gentlemen. Papa Boris here, playing some more Dungeon Run, and it's time for Druid. So the Druid, I think, has a lot of love in this Dungeon Run mode. First of all, it has hands down the best starting deck. I mean, there is not a single bad card in this deck. I don't know if Blizzard thought the Druids had a hard time in this mode, which I can't imagine because they're so flexible and have so many good cards, or if somebody just really loves Druids, but there is not a bad card in here. Man, some of these, I guess, maybe aren't, like, top-notch, but, like, certainly nothing that really makes you go, ugh, what's that doing here? Like, Goldshire, freaking Footman! Anyway, so Druid's pretty good. I'm a big fan of this class. It did take me a lot of tries to win, so maybe I'm bad, or maybe I'm really underestimating how bad Druid is, or overestimating how good it is, or whatever. But I've really enjoyed playing with this class, and I'm glad it finally came time to play it here in my runs. That's not going to be relevant. And sometimes this boss will shoot down one of your minions. I'm glad that it didn't here, because that makes my life a lot easier. Alrighty. Let's go ahead and whackety-dackety. Looks like this might go to turn 5. Because if it kills my stuff now... Oh no, it left... I love it when the AI leaves itself dead on board. That's always a fan favorite of mine. Alright, so we'll get this first run out of the way, and let's see what our first treasure is. One thing I'm hoping for with Druid is the one that makes your minions cost no more than 5, because Druids have some really nice class-specific minions, like Aviana and Kun, for example. I think the one I won is when I had that combo. That's a good one. Of course, it's not here. Nah, So, with Druid, I'm not a super big fan of the Justicar's Ring. I mean, it is cool that you get to heal for 2 and deal 2 damage more often. It's certainly nice, but it's one of those things that it's like, it's not really game-breaking. The stealth is interesting. Obviously, you can go for a rushdown strategy with Druid, because Druid does have the swarm and buffing thing. Power of the Wild is in the deck, as is the Enchanted Raven. So that's one way to go, and I do like playing that way. Battlecry is triggering twice. At the moment, the only Battlecry you have is this, which is long-term value and not that exciting. This is a choose one, so it does not actually deal 2 damage twice. And this is also a choose one, and it wouldn't work anyways. But the point is that Battlecry I'm not that excited about. So I'm kind of torn between the cloak and the ring. I have played, I think, 1 or maybe 2 runs where I used this cloak, so we've kind of already done that in the dungeon. So I guess we'll take the more flexible ring and see what I'm offered. Alright, we got Mana Growth, which is always tempting to take as Druid. What do we have? We got Taunt, not my favorite strategy. And this minion, I hate it. I hate this minion. It's just so bad. I played with it before. I hated it. This is, what do we got? So we get a little bit of removal, maybe some damage. This Spellstone does go nicely with the ring, because with the ring I'm getting 2 armor each time I use my hero power, as opposed to just 1. And it costs 1 mana, so I'm more likely to use it, so it's easier to improve this thing. So we're getting pretty much, cheap, kind of flexible cards and leaving the door open. But I'm going to grab the Mana Growth, because I think just Mana Growth is a really strong strategy in general. It gives you the opportunity to play things very cheaply very early on. So for example, if my second treasure, and I'm still kind of hoping for this, if my second treasure is the minions cost no more than 5, and I do get something like Aviana, and I can play her on turn 4, or maybe even turn 3, that can just absolutely dominate the game. And I like, in the dungeon, giving myself those chances to get really lucky. For my arena days, good players get lucky more often than bad players, because they give themselves more chances to get lucky. So that's kind of the philosophy I have when I'm trying these runs. Alright, so we have nice opening hand, I think, actually. I mean, I'm going to play the Raven instead of, like, innervating out a Wild Growth or something, but I think this is a pretty good opener. And now, do I Wild Growth or do I Power of the Wild? Let's go ahead and do this. I mean, obviously there was some temptation to play a 3-2, but this boss has some healing, and rushing down doesn't really always work, so I figured might as well just take this slightly slower approach. Alright, I could play this, ping it, and then innervate and hero power it down. It's one way to go about it, if I want to remove it, but it's not really threatening my board either. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to go for the maximum board presence slash damage. Yeah, if this thing is healing itself, that's fine, because it doesn't really have a board. Okay, so it's getting these dragons. I guess it could get that dragon that deals 3 damage to all other minions. Gotta watch out for that nowadays. Alright, swipe. So I could swipe the face and just do a lot of damage. You know what, let's just play a little lazy. Just go for the face. I'm almost there. The Keeper plus Hero Power will kill next turn. So it would have to play healing in order to not die, and it didn't. So actually, it just left itself dead on board. Fan favorite strategy of the AI, and we're good to go. I could even consider skipping the first 2 bosses. The problem is then you don't see the discussion of the first treasure, which I think is kind of an important part of the run. Okay, I'm not a fan of this many mulches. So yeah, that's not great. What do we got here? Mana growth with Astral Communion. That's not happening. And okay, so Jade, not my favorite strategy. You're not really going to go long enough most games to see this come to fruition. But like I've talked about before, Aya is a decent card by herself, just because there are 3 bosses that double your battle cries and or death rattles. And so having her in your deck is nice in those fights. If I do end up taking the treasure that makes minions cost no more than 5, she's kind of a sucker because it's not really helping her that much, and she's sort of blocking the potential for me to add more actually valuable minions into my deck without overloading my deck. Okay, so I could innervate the Shade on turn 2. And let's just, I don't know, maybe I should keep innervate, but right now my deck's not really that expensive. I think I'd rather just mulligan the innervate and try to get playable cards. Or do my favorite, which is play nothing. Yeah, that's good. At least I got this Raven. Aha. Alright, so the Jade Idol, I'm not going to be shuffling it in. That's just going to be a 1-1, unfortunately. It's not the most impressive play here, but, you know, if this game does go long, it'll make Aya a little bit better. Alright, so still nothing happening with my opponent. Yeah, I definitely have regrets about my mulligan choices, that's for sure. I'd love to have a Shade on the table right now. That would definitely speed things up. Okay, so my opponent's continuing to just set up. Obviously, there is some synergy here. I am going to save this for later because I can deal 2 damage now with my hero power. And I can also get an extra minion on the table. I'm not that interested in the battle cry. I was more just interested for the body. Okay, so now he's going to finally start playing the game. And I think I can kill him next turn, no matter what he does here, right? Because it kills that, and then I've got 3 damage here, and I've got 4 damage there. Or 4 damage there. Or 2 damage here, which I think is all I need, right? 3, 5, yeah. So, la-dee-da-dee-da. It would have actually been fewer clicks, I think, with the Druid, right? Maybe? Anyway, not that I care that much about minimizing my clicks. Let's move on. We get our first active treasure. Okay, so I'm not a big fan of this, although there are some bosses where this can be good, like, for example, the boss that plays Sylvanas. The pickaxe is an interesting one. So this is one that is very tempting to say it's bad because if you get it late, it doesn't do anything other than it's an old pre-nerf fiery war axe. But, you know, you have to consider what's the upside. What's the maximum potential upside of the card? And for this card, it's that you get 2 mana crystals and a fiery war axe. Now, the Bag of Coins plays a similar role in that it is bad later in the game, but potentially really good early in the game. However, this gives you more immediate mana than the pickaxe, but less long-term mana than the pickaxe. But still, let's say that you play it on turn 2, which is the optimal time for both cards. On turn 2, if you didn't play anything on turn 1, you're going to have a 5-card hand, including this Bag of Coins, which means after you play, you're going to get 6 coins, which is 6 mana. So you can essentially copy what the pickaxe is giving you for, I think, 3 turns? Right? Well, hang on a second. So the pickaxe gives you an extra mana crystal. So from every turn from that point on, you have an extra mana. And then it does it again. So yeah, 1, 2, 3. I think it's 3 turns that the bag of coins can mimic the pickaxe's total mana, but it gets more mana up front. So I'm going to go for the bag of coins. It has a higher upside than the pickaxe, and they both have a same downside. Okay, so we have more Jade. I'm not a super big fan of the Jade strategy, but it looks like I'm not really getting anything good here. Oh, okay, I mean, yikes. Yeah, I'm not super big fan of these cards. So I could take this. This is good if you double your battle cries, which I didn't. I kind of wish I did, because then you get 2 mana crystals with it, which is kind of awesome. Then you only lose 1 when it dies. This would be my 3rd wild growth. It's kind of a lot of wild growths. I'm basically not really building up to anything. I'm getting all this mana generation, but I'm not getting anywhere with it. So I guess we'll just take the Jade. This could be a mistake, but we'll try it. Oh god, okay, well, this is sort of annoying as well. I do have expensive minions in my deck. They're all choose ones, like the Druid of the Claw, or battle cries, like Aya, and the Jade Behemoth. So it's not that great. At least there's some death rattles in there with the Ayas. But I'm actually not that excited about this fight. I don't think I'm going to do very well with it. Well, we'll see. Let's not despair just yet. So I think the ramp is not smart here because you're going to be getting minions for free out of your deck. You're not going to win this by ramping out. So I don't really know even what I would want. I guess just really cheap minions to play early, like my Raven, I guess, would have been good. And I figure a 3-2 on turn 2 is also not bad. There's these wild growths. I don't think I'm going to be playing them unless I have literally nothing else to play. I doubt the game is going to go long enough for me to cycle these either. Alright, so there's Aya, which is a terrible top deck because I want her to be recruited. I don't want her in my hand, taking up space. Okay. Alright, this is the nightmare scenario. This thing is one of the worst things that you can possibly have him get, especially early on. Luckily, I top-decked Mulch, top deck of the century right there. Get past this. Start dealing some damage. Okay, hopefully it doesn't get that to happen twice. That would be really bad. Okay, this is fine. It's a very good minion and it can clear my board, but at least it doesn't have taunt. So if I wild growth, I get to play Aya next turn. I think that is worth doing. So I'm going to do it. But I'm not going to play the other one. I don't see the value of that. So I'm going to hero power to deal 2 damage to the face. Basically kind of like the Hunter hero power, only it costs 1 mana. So I'm hoping I can race the opponent down before this becomes a problem. No taunt, please. No taunt. Okay, good. So it's going to clear my board, which is sad. But she either has to give me Jade or... Oh, I see. She decided whatever to not do anything. Okay, cool. All right, so the right way to do this is first you play your stuff. Then you fill your hand to get an extra coin. Then you spend your coins. So let's see, we'll do 1 coin, obviously, to hero power. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4 coins to swipe the face, which also kills off its big minions. And actually, that also lets me win. Nice. So you can see, by the way, that was better than the greedy pickaxe. I mean, the greedy pickaxe had some value because it would have let me hit for 3 damage, and I guess in that situation it was about the same. Probably playing Aya was actually a mistake because they gave me 1 extra coin in the hand, but it spent 6 coins worth of stuff, essentially, which I didn't really want to do because I was killing the opponent. Okay, what do we got here? Healing? Ugh. I guess that's an okay card. Crypt Lord, huh? Well, this is good if you can buff, if you have buffing stuff. Unfortunately, I don't, because all I have for buffing is Power of the Wild. The difference between 1 attack and 2 attack is big. The difference between 1 attack and 3 attack is big. This is a really good minion, especially if in the next treasure I get the minions have +1/+1. That can be really good. These guys, I'm just not that excited about them. I'm going to take these because there's a really big upside with both Spreading Plague and these Crypt Lords if I can get my minions to have +1/+1. Now, I don't know if Blizzard has tweaked the numbers, but I feel like, and this could be totally wrong, it could just be statistics, it could just be me having selective confirmation bias, but I really feel like when my wife and I first began playing, we got the minions having +1/+1 pretty regularly, and now it seems to be quite rare. So, I don't know if that's true or not. But I'm not that hopeful of getting it. Still, I'm going to give it my best shot. to try to, you know, plan for it in case I do get it. Okay, well, let's do this. So we have a turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 play. This is the hero that gives you, or that gives itself arcane missiles for 1 mana and has a deck full of flame wakers. And if the game goes long, she eventually does drop an Archmage Antonidas, though I haven't actually seen it go to that. This is actually really nice. So I'm going to just do this right now. Alright, so what we can do here is, let's see, let's play a Crypt Lord first. And then let's do this thing next. So now I could Power of the Wild, either for a 3/2 or to give these each +1/+1. I'm going to actually give them both +1/+1 because this extra attack, I value it a lot, and it's 2 more power versus 3 power, which is not that different. And I want this thing to be harder hitting. Alright, so now we just hit the face. One nice thing about this boss is it does take a little time to get going. And that's good because I got a really fast start thanks to my awesome treasure. Ooh, that was a bit unlucky that the 2 missiles hit my weakest minion. But at the very least, this gives me another minion when it dies. I don't really care about getting extra mana crystals. So I'm going to play this Raptor to put more power on the table. And get an extra hero power in. So next turn I can play this in hero power and do more total damage. This turn she's playing a Flame Wanker and doing nothing. I need to think a little bit. So these both do the same amount of attacking. This one has more health. If I top deck Aya, then I'm going to wish I had played this Blossom. Yeah, I think I'm in a flexible position here. Why don't we just do this? Okay, I'm going to actually kill this Flame Waker. I am passing up 4 damage in order to have her shoot 2 fewer missiles. But I think it's worth it. I think I can afford to be a little bit cautious since I'm so far in the lead. Interesting, in the last time I faced her, she actually made another missile here instead of playing an Arcane Missile, and playing the Arcane Missile is the correct move. Oh, look at that awesome Jade Blossom. Nice. Alright, let's just go all face now. Yeah, this Crypt Lord's going nuts. And I like the Crypt Lord in this battle because having something with a ton of health, you know, draws some of the fire away from everything else, as it were. I might actually just be able to win next turn. Let's see how these go. It's going to be 7 total shots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, that was pretty unlucky because it cleared out pretty much all my minions and never once hit my face. Great. Well, what do we got here? 3, 5, 7. So I need 2 more hero powers to kill. No point in playing this. I don't even know if I have anything that costs 9. Okay, that was good. The correct play would have been to make a missile and shoot a missile. I don't know if she has any missiles left over, but it still would have been more correct than doing this, which is just an instant loss. All right. I'm burning. Okay, so what am I hoping for? I would still take that treasure that makes your minions cost no more than 5, and I would hope to see some big minions in the last few rounds. Let's see. Didn't get that. The other thing I was thinking about is maybe Death Rattles count twice or Battle Cries count twice because I have Aya. Didn't see that either. So, I can start with an extra mana. Robe is interesting. I haven't really been taking that many spells. It pretty much only works for the swipe, doesn't it? Yeah, it's the only thing I got. I mean, granted, that is pretty good to have spell power +3 with swipe, but I don't think it's good enough. It's tempting to just take this, actually, to slow the opponent down. I don't think this deck is all that good, so maybe slowing the opponent down is better than speeding my own deck up. Let's try it. I haven't done this before, so let's just give it a shot and see how it goes. Okay, we got more Jade, which I'm not that excited about. The Jungle Quest, I actually don't mind these cards, especially Kun. It can be a really good one. But I don't actually want the quest. This is a pretty bad quest. Barnabas is that big minion that makes minions in your deck cost 0. It's just not good enough. And then Mistress of Mischief. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't know exactly what to do here. I mean, this gives me some early plays and some healing, but I also don't really want to be healing my opponent. This thing has to hit twice to just break even as far as your opponent is concerned. Alright, we'll take in more Jades. That could very well be wrong. Okay, this is... So we now know what Ixalit is. It's the one that's poisonous to heroes. And I believe that armor is not a shield. I guess I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure that I can't just hero power this thing down. Because I think that armor doesn't block it. The way that armor, for example, doesn't block you from freezing effects. So what we need here is stuff to protect the face. So that would mean Power of the Wild. My choice of treasure is pretty bad here. Pretty bad, because if I started with an extra crystal, I'd be able to play more stuff faster. Instead, I have the warding glyph, but that doesn't stop the hero power, so it's a bit of a rough spot here. Okay, so we're going to do that. And then, thankfully, it should do nothing on turn 1. Oh, Living Roots, are you kidding me? Oh my god, are you kidding me? That's a pretty good turn 1 play, because now these Living Roots can kill my Panther, and that prevents me from being able to kill the Spore. I'm hoping for what? I'm hoping that the AI is bad and doesn't kill my Panther. Oh, nope, the AI knows what it's doing. So this is an awkward spot here. I am forced to mulch that thing, which is obviously not ideal. I mean, at least I get to keep on living, but that Living Roots was really rough, man. Okay, so hopefully no more Living Roots, please. Thank you. So now, we can actually kill this thing. And I have now something that can kill the next one. Oh, wow. That's a play. Oh, Jesus Christ. Really? Alright, that's intense. So now, I mean, you just can't really think too much. The only way I can keep on living is to play Spreading Plague, which is awful. Because, this thing will kill it and still live. So, yeah. Very unfortunate choice of treasure. Very unfortunate. And remember, he's making one of these every single turn, so I fall more and more behind. Oh my god, seriously? Okay. That was a total waste of that card. It would have been much better to give it health or to give the other one health. Pretty much it did the only thing possible that was totally stupid. But unfortunately, I just lose because none of these have taunt. And, yeah, none of them have taunt. And I can't kill it. So I'm going to find out just conclusively that armor does not protect me. Yeah, it doesn't. Wow, so that kind of sucks. 2 runs in a row where I just lost to a boss that I had no chance of beating. Maybe if I had taken the +1 mana crystal, I would have been in better shape. But this is a rare boss. It's really remarkable that I faced this 2 runs in a row. So I don't think playing around this boss makes a lot of sense. Though it does show one potential weakness of the Glyph of Warding, which is that it made no difference in that fight, and the extra mana crystal could have. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed it. Please like and or subscribe, and I'll see you again soon. Take care.